Solo matches in TDS are a problem. Imagine this. You've gotten really good at TDS. You can get fast times on solo matches on Molten and can beat the Fallen King by yourself really fast too. That's great. Good for you. But you've been doing this for weeks. Whether it be for grinding XP to get pursuit or get money for a golden crate, which we all want, yes. But you have become rather bored and tired of the game. You feel like it doesn't let you be creative since using any non-meta towers in a solo fallen match may cost you that win. You feel that the game has become repetitive and perhaps exhausting in some cases. Then you have three options: quit playing for a while and check in for new updates every so often. Have a long break, or be me, an idiot, and still keep playing for some kind of teeny tiny reward. If you picked one of the first two options, good for you. That dullness of playing the game for so long probably got to you, so you took the initiative. If you pick option 3, you must be extremely bored. There is one thing. On the last game that you play, what do you think you are more inclined to do? Do a final solo fallen match before you go off with a bang before you take your break, or try that event again and see if you win, if it's even there, or maybe play with others. And that is where my point comes in. Matches with more people are more fun than solo matches. This is my opinion though. You don't have to follow it. You might find enjoyment in beating the bosses quickly with no aid. But personally, after beating the game entirely again on a new account, with most of my games being by myself, the game became nothing more than a loop. Get towers, get in a map, play the game, beat or fail the game, teleport back to the lobby and repeat. If you decide to grind solely on Molten to get a golden crate, you would need to be in this loop for 100 games and win every single time. Let's say you get a Molten match win in 15 minutes. Doing this consistently 100 times means playing TDS for a total of a whole day of playing. It may not be much at first, but there may be the factor of getting good maps, which could in fact add more hours to this. Then you may be minutes slower in some games, adding even more time. In short, grinding in this game is less like playing a game and more like being stuck in purgatory.
Michael! Don't leave me here! Michael!
But why do people play on solo? Well, it's for these reasons. Wave bonuses are higher than with other people. More towers can be placed in a match. Money is easier to come by, so you can upgrade early game towers faster. You can do it yourself without other people to listen to or take suggestions from. It's quite challenging for harder difficulties like Fallen, and it's very fast to do. Though there are drawbacks from playing like this. For example, you can't manage towers as a team as you're by yourself, and you can't help out others. And most importantly, you feel restricted in how many towers you can use. Not only by limit, but what kinds of towers you can use. The positive reasons are great reasons for playing alone. It's why so many people want to play like this. Although, the negative point of tower restrictions can affect how you enjoy the game greatly. Let's put you in a scenario where you are about to play a solo match yet again. Your early defense is probably going to be something like Golden Scout, perhaps Warden, or if you have it, Gladiator. Your economy is most likely to be Farm. It's simple to use and gives you loads of money each wave. Supports are most definitely going to be Commander and DJ, since they will help you in the long run in the match, compared to supports like Medic, which is only good near late game since zombies that can stun you appear at that stage. Late game is more spread out. If you have them, it could be Accelerator or Engineer. You might be feeling a bit spicy and get Ranger since you haven't used them in a very long time since you got Accelerator. Maybe the recently buffed Pursuit. But have you ever considered using Ace Pilot as early game? I mean, it can get you to the last wave if you use it well on Molten and gives some decent times without other offensive towers. What about Turret? Okay, maybe not Turret. Below, please buff Turret. You could get an offensive economy through the use of Cowboy. Have you tried Electroshocker over DJ? You probably have not. Why? Because the towers I've listed at first are what the community considers meta towers. Meta standing for most effective tactics available normally, or in this case, most effective towers available. Why use Turret when you already have Ranger? Why use the complex Cowboy over the simple Farm? Though technically, Golden Cowboy is a meta tower. Farm, in my opinion, is just slightly more consistent. Why in God's green earth would you pick a tower that slows enemies for less than 2 seconds, being Electroshocker, over a tower which gives more range for your other towers, gives discounts for all tower levels in its own range, and have kick-ass music to boot? Because there is no point. If you have any of these good towers, there is no point in using objectively weaker towers over them unless you want some kind of change in the flow of the game, affecting time and whether or not you will win. Although in group matches, things are flipped on their head. You can use effectively any tower available to you in the game. Except Freezer, really, no one should use Freezer. You can help out others whilst doing this. You can work with your team to get great results, like one person having DJ and the other Commander, maybe some medics here and there. Get what I mean? And it's also quite challenging because of these next few points. And these things come at a price. Wave bonuses are drastically lower with others, and there are less towers you can place. There is also less money to place and upgrade early games towers faster because of the wave bonuses. And people you may need to listen to or usually argue with if it's someone who's not listening when you're playing your way. Challenge. I say this since it may be awkward to play the game if you've played several solo matches beforehand, and it being very slow in comparison to solo. These drawbacks seem to outweigh the positives in this scenario, but the fact you can use any tower changes everything. Now for the next scenario, this time being in a quad match. For once you finally break from your loop, your purgatory, and play Fallen with a team of 4, yourself and 3 casual players, trying to use the non-meta towers they have to win. The second you load in, everyone picks Fallen. The first thing you see is someone placing military base because what? Guess what? You can practically get any meta tower and throw them out the window because quad matches become your damn playground. You wanna bring an ace pilot for early game? Sure man, go for it. Wanna bring golden cowboy into the ring? You can do that too. Wanna bring medic and electroshocker since you want to make every attack the zombies do redundant? Bring it on. You wanna get probably the worst late game tower turret since its total DPS, that being all 5, is lacking compared to other late game towers. You can say fuck it and bring the thing anyway. Why? Cause not anything you do is negatively affected at all. Here's the thing. Let's come up with the most wacko loadout I can think of right now. See, early can be paintballer, economy can be farm, supports can be electroshocker, and late to mid game are ace pilot and rocketeer. On solo fallen, you're sure to lose with such a composition, but on quad, it doesn't matter as long as at least one of your has a tower which can do near 100 DPS, which can find very cheap options for, including ace pilot, warden, though maybe for smaller enemies are some examples. You are so very likely to win. You might ask, why don't you talk about events or special game modes? You do have to play with others to win, and to that I say, it doesn't feel the same because of strategies. If you don't get into the game, and I mean really into TDS, you still won't be able to win these without solid concrete strategies. With meta towers to win with others, and the fact that you need to be incredibly precise with your actions and honestly have luck sometimes, further restricts how well you do in the match, which I personally see makes playing in groups feel incredibly unfun, and I hate that. Which is why I decided to not include events in this video. So in conclusion, I'm not saying that solo matches are not fun. They can be. The person who beat hardcore solo made a huge achievement in the history of TDS and was very, very pleased with themselves. But please, if you take one thing away from this video, it's this. If you ever feel bored after a solo match, albeit successful or not, if you're about to take a break for some time because the game has become extremely repetitive yet again, please, before you go, consider playing the game just once with 3 other people. Random or friends. If not for them or yourself, then maybe for me, if you're feeling generous. And see what random stuff awaits you. This was Nick speaking. Have a good one.